I'm doing pretty
All right.
good.
Yeah, I'm doing good as
Gonna
well.
be a good tournament today. Nice, quick one. Get the blood going on a Friday night. So I'm
Yep,
excited for this one.
a good showcase of some unknown North American talent.
Yeah, so we've got 7 teams signed up here today. Some pretty known ones, some, like you said, some newer talent as well. We've got Destiny Bond coming in at our number 1 seed. Then we've got a bunch of other teams that, we've seen in other tournaments in the past. We've got Los Inklings, Hook, Line, and Sinker. That name sounds familiar to me as well. Wipeout Punks, Frostbite. These are all teams that, been trying to make their way up the ranks of Splatoon 3.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how things turn out. I mean, this is the third month of the second season of Splatoon 3. We're actually nearing the wrap up of it. The fresh season is going to be starting on the 28th. So this is going to be like one of the last North American events that are happening. And even though it's small, it should still be very interesting. Maybe people are going to want to try out some new things. Maybe we'll just see the standard splash machine backline type comps. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and like you're saying, that new update is coming out basically. What is that, like Tuesday or so?
Yep, I
Something
believe
like
that is
that. So
Tuesday. Yeah.
so people, trying to finish up with this meta, maybe move on to a new one soon. Don't know if they're gonna, like you said, move on to trying new things here today, or just keep it with their tried and true comps going on with those popular weapons. The splashes, the stampers have become popular. The Tenatech, obviously, with those tri-strikes getting a buff, have been a go-to for, I'd say, NA Splatoon in general. Just it
Yes,
didn't have a reason to use
definitely.
T-Tech it before, now they do.
NA does love their T-Tech.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so also to go on with the format of this tournament, it is going to be double elimination. First map is going to be splat zones on a random map, and then from there, it is going to be the counter picking of the two teams going back and forth. So teams obviously have to, think about what exactly, plays to their strengths in regards to what weapon comp they're bringing out, and hopefully that'll lead them to victory.
yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what kind of maps people pull out, especially since it is going to be a counterpick system. I'm curious to see if we're going to see anything like there's maybe some Mahi zones. I know that's a spicy one. Then it's not to everybody's taste, but I would not be surprised if someone decided to just pull it out of their pocket and say we like playing this map mode combination, even if you don't want to.
Yeah, and that's another thing about counter picks in general. Like, you need to not only think about what map plays to your own strength, but like what plays to the opponent's weaknesses. Like, even if you pick your best map, if that's also the enemy team's best map, then is it really going to be that good of a choice for you to bring out there? So there's always that back and forth between teams having to think of how exactly they want to play counter picks, but it all comes down to also just starting off with winning that first game and giving yourself the advantage going into the counter picking stage.
Yeah, that first game is going to determine a whole lot. So I believe we're going to be getting into what is this Los Inklings versus Frostbite. These are both two teams that I have personally seen a little bit in some events. They're not entirely unknown, so this should be a pretty good match between these two teams. And they're playing to the winner of this will actually go on to fight Destiny Bond, as we mentioned before, our number 1 seed. So they're definitely going to want the chance to play that what is considered like top North American talent.
Yeah, seems like we've got everybody in the lobby now, so should be looking to get things started here really quickly. Like we said, going to be splat zones on that first map, so team's probably going to be coming out with some pretty standard comps. Coming out of this one, a crab tank or two coming in from the splashes also help paint those zones. You were mentioning it earlier, things like machine are still good on maps like or modes like splat zones just because they have that booyah bomb. So definitely want to see what these teams want to bring out going into this first map here.
Yeah, maybe we'll even see some Tetras, some swords. Both of those are also still very, very popular picks. And if you have the aggressive player who's really just enjoys diving into the back lines with QR, lots of moves, like lots of swim speed, if you play to your strength, they can be very powerful weapons.
Yeah, honestly, the Tetras to me in general is, even though it's a hard weapon to kind of play to that style. I know you're dying a lot, so is it really that hard? But just for not only for you to do that, but to do it successfully and have your team be able to capitalize on those opportunities that you're making for them is something I think that's a little difficult, but it's something that I want to see more teams try to at least implement into their play style. Because I've seen some Tetras that completely dominate games before at a high level. So I think it's something that could definitely shake up the meta if more players are willing to invest the time into learning it.
Yeah, I think especially when people first started exploring Tetras, and I feel like this always happens in Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2. At first, people are very hesitant to adhere to the whole QR really just dive in style, but it has always been good. It has really generally been good in all the Splatoon games. So if you've been playing it before, should be able to very easily, I'd say, just pick up and kind of apply that to your Splatoon 3 game plan, because it is definitely still very good if you have the players to back you up with it.
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of difficult to say if it was ever really a bad thing with the QR adjustments they made from Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2. But we're getting into game number 1 right here of Vortex Gallery 2023. And look at it right there. We actually see some of those weapons we were talking about. The Stamper, we've got the Tetra Dualies on one side with the E-Liter, and then on the other side, they've got the double splashes, but they've got a Carbon Roller in there to mix things up. I believe that's a Deco, so that's got the Trizuka and the Burst Bombs. So definitely think of, play with those Burst Bombs. There's 3 Burst Bombs on their team. Let's see how that works out for them.
Immediately, Los Inklings is going to capture the zone. They took out that Flings in one of the splashes. And Frostbite is popping a Crab Tank. It's a bit segmented. It's not really getting much done, but yep, 3 people go down again from Frostbite. The zone is going to stay in Los Inkling control.
Actually, I believe Los Inklings is the purple team, so it's in Frostbite's control right now, as they're kind of just moving on forward and really taking it to the players of Los Inklings right now. We see that Crab Tank trying to get that missiles, not going to be able to get it done right there, but they wisely backed out, and we're able to get a trade out of it. That's going to be the zone flipping over in favor of Los Inklings, but actually it might not be for too long, as there's only 1 player left, and they're actually going to get taken down by the Stamper right there. Wow.
Wow, okay, wow. That was an immediate flip coming out there. And now they're just looks like they're playing it slow, definitely probably trying to build up specials, maybe waiting for those missiles. The first Crab Tank is going to get popped, trying to apply some pressure, but he's sniped by the E-Liter. What a shot.
Yeah, right there. Now the E-Liter is going to be pressured by those missiles, but they should have plenty of time to get rid of them, or get out of the way, as the whole team on the side of Los Inklings was down. Now the E-Liter is going to be pressured up, but honestly, by the time they even get into position to help out the teammates see them taking down pretty much everyone at this point. Now the Flings is kind of forced to just make a move, get to 1, but going to get taken down right after. And I believe they should be able to hold this on for the game. That's going to be 2 going down once again on the side of Los Inklings. And yeah, that's going to be the game.
Wow, okay.
Game number 1 going over to Frostbite. And honestly, Frostbite looked like they were in control the whole time. Great showing from them.
Yeah, really fantastic showing from them. That was wow. that was very crisp gameplay. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they applied that game plan basically perfectly, I'd say. That is an excellent display of Mahi zones.
Yeah, they had a good comp from it, like we said. The E-Liter, like a Mahi zones in general, is pretty good. It was pretty good in Splatoon 1. Seems to be the same here in 3, even though the map is quite different. At least, you got a lot of room to just stay up on your snipe perched up. The enemy team can't really get to you outside of, you know, using things like Tenta missiles, which Los Inklings did bring out, but the other players on the side of Frostbite were just always in their face, where they were never able to take advantage of the specials that they were throwing out there. So Frostbite's kind of their aggression with the Tetras and the Stamper getting all the way in their face. Los Inklings really didn't have an answer there.
Yeah, Los Inklings, they always were staggered. They never really had the opportunity to really chain together those specials in a way that will allow them to get back into the zone. And especially when you're using a weapon like Flingza, which has those Tenta missiles, you really want to be going in all at the same time or activating your specials in sync so that you can really take advantage of the chaos that they create.
Yeah. And you kind of mentioned it right there. They never had that special coordination because honestly, it seemed like there were always one or two members down. They were never really able to get a coordinated push going. But I think that also plays into how Frostbite was so aggressive. Like we saw at one point, the E leader on the side of Frostbite, they did get the missiles onto them, but two of their members were already down by the time the E-leader even needed to readjust their position to the missiles, so they were never able to take advantage of that situation, and then they just had to rush the zone at the end, not really able to get anything going in one by one at the end there. So now that we've moving on to their counter pick, so maybe this will mix things up for them to a map that they're more comfortable on.
Yeah, and the map that they did pick, it is going to be Brinewater. Brinewater is definitely what I would consider a fairly interesting Splat Zones map. Usually when I see these type of counter picks, I feel like people tend to go more towards the Mako Marts, the Hagglefish, but to go immediately to Brinewater, hopefully they have something in mind of how they want to play this, because not many people go immediately to this map as a counter.
Yeah, especially considering they did just played against the E-Leader. I know it didn't seem like the E-Leader was the bane of their existence, the reason that they lost the game, but you are kind of playing into, you know, a comp that, you know, works on this map. As we see, the members of Frostbite didn't really change anything up about their comp on the side of Los Inklings. However, we are going to have this Explosher here who's kind of putting in work for their team, able to clear out a little bit of the enemy teams that were pushing, but we already see two down on the side of Los Inklings once again. Inkstorm is going to be coming out, but you got to wonder, was that the right call? They were able to cap the zone off of it, but they're probably going to lose it pretty quick because nobody's really even close to the zone at this point to put up any pressure there.
Yeah, this Explosher pick is very interesting, especially when you know that the enemy team is wanting to run that E-Leader. You can see it when we're spectating the Explosher. The range that the E-Leader has can actually just reach over to where the enemy Explosher is at. And with the pressure that's coming out from the Sword and the Tetras, it's going to be hard to get over to that E-Leader to give your Explosher room to breathe.
Yeah, but right here,
you can see this roller. He just gets in there and actually does manage to get the E-Leader. The zone's going to flip again. Reef Slider coming out.
Reef Slider's going to come out. They see the problem right there in their base, but they're going to get taken down right there. You saw the other player kind of ditch their teammate right there.
Yeah, he just let him.
He just up and bailed. Went to the zone, wasn't able to really get much done, and now that's actually going to be the entirety of the map going over to Frostbite right there. And they've got a pretty strong hold right here with two specials at the ready. We see the Shizuka coming out, but their shots are kind of all over the place. They don't really know where they want to aim. They're being pressured by the Stamper right there, and they're just going to have to make a move onto the zone. The Inkstorm is going to be able to create a little bit of space for the Carbon Roller to get something done, but no, they're going to get taken down by the Tetras. And you said it right there. They always seem to be down. Multiple members here whenever they're making a push. Just a very uncoordinated effort coming in from Los Inklings thus far.
With only 18 seconds left, they're not going to have very much time to get a special. Looks like they've got a bubble right now, but it's not really going to do anything. They're just going to back up. You can jump to that bubble, but you're not changing the zone. 3 seconds. It's neutral right now. Are they going to be able to cap it?
They do have the crab at the ready, but by the time they pop the crab, that's going to be the zone. I'm surprised they were able to get another Inkstorm right there at the end, but it was too little too late, as once again, Frostbite putting on a strong showing. Taking that, I'd say once they got that last hold at the end, it was a pretty nice hold from them, as, you know, Los Inklings didn't really have any type of answer going into that one, but I think Los Inklings showed some signs of life in that game. There were times where they, like you mentioned, that roller went in, was able to create opportunities for their team. But then once they found themselves going down, then Frostbite just kind of took full advantage of the opportunity that Los Inklings opened up there. So 2-0 in favor of Frostbite, and that is going to be the set of winners round one right here. And a pretty quick one, but Los Inklings, like I said, they showed some effort there at the end, and maybe they were able to make a loser's bracket run here.
Yeah, they're definitely not out. They showed some signs of life. I like the idea behind picking the Explosher on that Brine Water map. I think potentially if it was a matchup that didn't have them matched against an E-leader, perhaps it would have been able to have a bit of a stronger showing. But they definitely they're cooking something up. I think that they have a good chance to get back through the losers bracket. Maybe we'll see a rematch, but yeah, good stuff to Frostbite on that 2-0. They will be playing Destiny Bond next.
Yeah, and I think looking forward to what we can see from Frostbite going forward is I liked a lot of their coordination coming in throughout that game. I know we were kind of harping on kind of the lack thereof that we wanted to see from Los Inklings, but you got to give it up on the other side is Frostbite. Whenever somebody was called out, we saw it towards the end. You were talking about that bubble that came in on that flank and players jumping to it. Everybody immediately knew on the side of Frostbite that flank was coming in. They all turned around and dealt with it pretty quickly. So that's the type of things you like to see. Once you see an enemy team member called out on one person's screen and everybody looks over to make sure that that's handled, that's the type of plays that are going to end up winning you games and then sets and then eventually tournaments. So excited to see what Frostbite's able to do going forward.
Yeah, that was a very crisp coordination, very, very crisp, and looks like we're going to get to see them hopefully display it even more as they're going to be. We're going to be getting into a Frostbite versus Destiny Bond, I believe. So hopefully they'll be able to continue to apply those things because Destiny Bond is definitely the favorites to win this tournament. They are very strong, and you're going to want as much focus and coordination as possible if you're going to have a chance to take them out.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, Destiny Bond, a very strong team. If everything projected goes the way it's planned, Destiny Bond should be able to win this set. But with Frostbite showing such a good showing in that last one, I think they have a chance to surprise some folks here today if they're able to keep that up. We kind of know the comp that they like to bring out. It seemed like they were very content on bringing in that E-leader, the Stamper, the Tetra Dualies, and then they also had the Splash player. So it's a very nice, well-balanced comp that is able to not only, put on strong holds due to their aggression, and then they also have the ability to fall back on their E-leader if things don't go well. But going into on the offensive, they're able to get all up in your face, Tetra in your base, Zipcaster all up in your face, moving in on that Stamper. So I think they have a really strong comp, and I'm excited to see what they do in this next one.
Yeah, they were all playing their roles very well too. The Stamper and the Tetra seemed very in sync when they were going in. The Splash was playing in the midfield very well, supporting, making sure nobody could just get to the E-leader for free, despite us seeing that single time where the roller did manage to take him down. But it seemed like they have very strong game plan. They have good fundamentals. Like I said, I have seen this team before in other events, and they have done well. So I would not be surprised to see this potentially go the distance versus Destiny Bond if they really keep that focus up.
Yeah, and we also got to mention that Destiny Bond, this is their first set of the tournament, having that bye in round one. So Frostbite's got a little bit of the momentum right now that they might be able to extend going into this next round.
Absolutely. Momentum is definitely a big factor in tournaments that I think some people might like to overlook. But when you're feeling good coming right off a set win, you feel like you're on top of the world, like you can beat anyone. And maybe Frostbite will be able to carry that against Destiny Bond and make it happen.
Yep. And, just to go back to it, we saw the first map is going to be, or first mode rather, is going to be Splat Zones on a random mode. So we already saw how well they were able to coordinate on the side of Frostbite on a mode like Splat Zones. And so this first map and mode could definitely go in their favor once again. If they're able to play a map that's similar, I think both of those first two maps that we saw, E-leader was a pretty standard pick, to be honest. Mahi Zones, it's definitely a pick that people like to come out with. And then I think in this game in general, Brine Water's kind of become that go-to E-leader map where you kind of, if a team has an E-leader at the ready, they do bring it out on that map in particular. So now we see, you know, with this randomness of the maps going in forward, are they going to get a map that favors E-leader once again, or are they going to get one that, you know, maybe plays into the favor of a more aggressive comp? So definitely interested to see how they play this one out. But I think it definitely comes down to the map that comes out, but also if they're able to kind of adjust to it. Are they able to play other weapons in a scenario where maybe you get a Mako Mart, in which, you know, people don't really like to bring out E-leaders on Mako Mart.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And how that specific part, the fact that E-leader is very potent on Brine Water, makes it that much more interesting, thinking that most Inklings would have chose to go there, actually. But let's see what this first map is going to be of this set. Looks like they're getting the team set up. I wonder if Frostbite will stick with the same comp. I imagine so. They seem to have a pretty decent understanding of how they want to play it. I wouldn't imagine they're going to want to change it up unless the map is drastically different to what they're used to playing.
Yeah, I don't think they'll change too much going into this one. We'll see how that plays into them in particular. We do see on the side of Destiny Bond, it is going to be Jared, Zero, Wally, and Bliss. So this is a pretty standard lineup coming out from them. 4 members that have played together for quite some time, and you know, have put up some pretty fantastic results. They've won they came in second in one of the NA Opens, and you know, that's allowed them to qualify for a chance to, you know, win in a Splatoon NA championship in PAX in Boston coming up next month, actually. So coming up pretty quickly. So they're definitely the cream of the crop in the North American region, and hopefully they show us in this next match why exactly that is.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. As you said, like Jared, Zero, Wally, Bliss, these are names that people know, and these are also names that people want to beat. So I'm sure Frostbite is very motivated to be looking to take this match, and we'll see. Hopefully they can put up a good fight.
Yep, we're getting into it right now. Game number 1 of winners semifinals. It is going to
Museum.
be Museum Splat Zones right here. So, like we said, they don't really have to change too much up in their comp for this one. It is going to be the exact same, other than they got rid of the Stamper for another Splash-O-Matic. So,
and on the side of Destiny Bond, a Squeezer. Jared on the Squeezer. I have never seen this. And then we have the very standard triple splash. This is very interesting. I've never seen Jared play Squeezer in any event.
Yeah, well, we see Jared already making his presence felt. 2 of his team members on the side of Frostbite, however, are going to get taken down. So Jared right now on this right side by himself is going to get taken down by the Tetra Dualies. But you saw Jared was holding it down on that side for quite some time. He wasn't really pressured, but that was because he had that splash wall, which kind of, you know, gave him a little bit of distance and put the enemy team just a little bit afraid of approaching Jared behind that. But Jared already comes right back in, able to get 1 here, and this is already looking really good for Destiny Bond. And I mean, this is exactly what we said. They're the #1 team in this tournament for a reason, and it seems like they've already been able
that
to get
crab
that
tank got
big.
shredded. Oh my god.
That's just unfortunate right there, where you think, all right, it's a crab versus a splash, I'm going to win this, and then suddenly every single one of their shots just hits you right in the head.
Is 3 down. Hold on, if Frostbite can get out into the zone right now, they do have a good opportunity, and they do flip it. Let's see if they can get some paint coverage so they can take control of this area. They've got some specials building. Their Tetris does go down, but they do have a crab tank that should be able to stall out the zone if needed. Let's see when he pops it. He's going to pop it right now. Okay, he's pressuring their high ground. Ooh. Someone came up from behind him. Okay, and Destiny Bond does have a crab of their own.
Oh, Wally right now going to try to take down that Tetra player, and they are going to be able to. That's going to be the zone getting flipped right back over to Jared and the rest of Destiny Bond. We see a trade going off on that side. All the members of Destiny Bond know that there's 1 player there. Jared just elects to walk away, knows that his teammates could win that 2v1, and so he wants to get set up right back on this right side, where he's kind of been the entire game just perched up here with that splash wall at the ready, and now he's throwing Trizuka shots up onto their plat. Not able to get anything from it, but at least stalled out for a couple extra seconds. Oh, but unfortunately, his splash wall is gonna get taken down by the crab tank. I didn't know that was a thing. That the crab tank just eats your splash wall right there. But Jared finding out the hard way, as the zone might flip back in favor of Frostbite, but 2 down on both sides. Actually 3 down on the side
down
of Destiny Bond. So this should be the zone coming out for them, but
okay, they're getting the jumps into the E leader, trying to get it painted. It's still neutral. There we go. Okay, that is going to be that penalty applied to Destiny Bond. Now let's see what they can do. See what area they can take control of. They're trying to get the burst bombs. It's so hard for the Tetra to deal with that. He's just getting burst bombed out, and Zero's going to pop the crab. He's shooting it over at the higher ground and also towards the left side, trying to keep some pressure so that his fellow splashers can push in. That's going to be 3 down for Destiny Bond. Can we get the 4th?
Yep.
Or 3 down
Zero.
for Fox, right? Oh, okay.
They're going to get the jump out. Yeah, jump out coming in right there. That's going to be a full reset coming in. Oh, Zero already spots one over onto this right side. It is the Tetra player X-Ray once again. Finally, X-Ray was able to get the shots onto Zero first, which is going to force him back. But Zero, once again, just going to play those burst bombs and try to help his teammates. Oh, the Reef Slider. I believe he did get a trade with the one, but probably not too much in terms of ground control for the team. The team wasn't really able to take too much advantage of it right here. The E-Leader player is the last one remaining on the side of Frostbite, and that should be the game. They're able to get a nice snipe, but too little, too late right there, as Destiny Bond holds on to win game number 1 in this semifinals. So, you know, good showing from Frostbite. They put up a lot of fight right there. They just weren't able to get onto I would say once they were able to get zone, they weren't able to put up the same kind of holds that we saw Destiny Bond able to do. It seemed like Destiny Bond, they got the zone, they knew exactly where they wanted to be. Zero push up onto their plat along with the other members like Wally and Bliss. Push up onto their plat, someone watch that left side flank, and Jared on that right side just, you know, holding it down with the splash wall, his Trizuka, and also, you know, the squeezer itself. So it seemed like Destiny Bond had a game plan of what they wanted to do once they got control, and we didn't really see too much of that from the side of Frostbite. Even though they were able to get some impressive, you know, zone retakes, they were not able to hold it because it didn't seem like they knew exactly the positions that each player wanted to be during that time.
Yeah, and it definitely feels like Frostbite's E-Leader, they were unable to really have as much impact as they were in the Los Inklings game. And part of that may be due to the fact that without the sword coupled with the Tetra, it's really just the Tetra going in. Whereas on the side of Destiny Bond, the splashers were playing very well coordinated. Every time they called in a member, another splash was immediately on the way to assist and make that a 2v1, while Jared held the right side of the map with his wall and his Zuka. It made it very hard for the Tetras on the side of Frostbite to really get anything done versus their past game, where they had that kind of buddy who was constantly with them going in and helping to create space for their E-Leader to get those nasty shots.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely seemed like, you know, they were able to get some good shots. They were able to get some good picks. You know, we saw from basically each member of the team there was able to make at least some type of play on the side of Frostbite. But we always saw those good picks coming out from when they were either in mid or fighting to get back into mid. We never saw it on the plat of Destiny Bond, which is I think where you want to really put on a strong hold on a map like that, is once you get zone, try and put a couple members in their spawn and try to push up on them and force the fight away from all the fighting in mid. So definitely want to see them able to maybe do that on this next map.
Yeah, and that next map is going to be Hammerhead. This is a very strong map for E-Leader still, despite its changes that it has gone through from Splatoon 1 all the way over here to Splatoon 3. So if they do manage to win that zone and the E-Leader can make their way into mid with their frontline players pushed a bit more farther onto the enemy ramp, we could see a good lockout coming from Frostbite. But they're going to have to make sure that their taking those coordinated fights again like they were in the Los Inklings match and really able to take advantage of these tetras that they're opting to run.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we kind of know the comps that, Frostbite likes to bring out. The X-Ray does seem to be a Tetra player, and then on the other side, they seem to like, to bring out different shooters, maybe even the Stamper, if needed. So, it seems like they know the roles of each player, but they just need to get a little bit, sharper on their execution once they're in a good position. So I think that's the biggest adjustment that they need to make, is just really taking the fight to Destiny Bond when they're in control, instead of trying to fight those little bit of 1v1s that they're capable of winning. We saw that in that last one, but let's see if they're able to kind of really coordinate a strong hold together with those specials. We saw Destiny Bond have the crab tanks at the ready when they were in control. Let's see if they're able to do the same on the other end.
I'm curious to see if they are going to bring back that Stamper on the side of Frostbite. Let's take a look at the comps. Okay, Frostbite is going to stick to the same, but on the side of Destiny Bond, they're going to be bringing out Tetras and a 52. 52 is definitely, or at least was early on in Splatoon 3's lifespan, a popular pick for this map. It is definitely still strong. That wall is able to lock down one side of the zone. Killer Whale will be very good at helping to deal with this E-Leader also, so I think this is a very strong pick coming out from Destiny Bond. And you can see the aggression that they're applying right away. They took the zone and they are all the way up the enemy ramp into their spawn. That's 3 down for Frostbite.
Oh my god, they're going on an absolute tear right here, and they do know where the last player is. They just squid roll right onto their head. Nice plays coming out from Zero and the rest of Destiny Bond to really, put them on their heels right here, as they're forcing them all the way back into their spawn here. The burst bombs just being chucked at them. They don't really know how to approach. Zero's just going to be going in with that 52 gal, able to get a 1 pick, I believe. Actually, it was the crab tank able to trade with one of the players right there, but still this fight is all the way up in their spawn. This is a really good fight if you're Destiny Bond, able to just try to, they weren't able to get that pick. I'm very surprised at that. But
coming out from X-Ray.
Yeah, X-Ray right here, moving on in. There's only 1 left. He needs to stop squid rolling and get himself to the zone.
Okay, they are able to flip it. That's going to be a 71 penalty on the likes of Destiny Bond. But the Frostbite, and they are immediately taken out again, and the zone reflips. They had a chance to really try and push up the ramp there, but they just slipped out of their hands. And now they once again need to break this hold that Destiny Bond has on their spawn.
Yep, right now, once again, they're fighting all the way up in their spawn. It is going to be a crab tank forced to be popped, but look, they're getting shot at from both directions. Don't really know which way to shoot right there. X-Ray is going to get taken down as well, and it just seems like Destiny Bond has their number right there, as they're not even letting them out of spawn right now. This one might get thrown up on Twitter, people complaining about spawn camping or something.
Yeah, this one might end up on Reddit. People say spawn camping only happens in ranked. Like, here it is in the tournament. Wow, that is a master class once again coming out from Destiny Bond. I mean, we expected this. We did kind of expect this, but Frostbite, they have glimmers of hope. They just need to be a little bit cleaner on the execution. Try and take a little bit less 1v1s, and it is very hard when you have this E-Leader as your backline. Once the E-Leader is uprooted from wherever it wants to be on sniper or on your ramp, it is incredibly hard to get back in. Their spawn was covered entirely by Destiny Bond's ink, and it's going to be hard to get the shot off when your opponent has such freedom of movement and all that control.
Yeah, it seemed like, Destiny Bond just kind of outskilled them. Yeah, there was really strong coordination coming from them, but we could also see most of the time the players on the side of Destiny Bond were able to win those 1v1s and those 2v2s, and eventually just piled up where it seemed like always Frostbite were just having to fight their way back into the middle of the map. And especially on a long map like that, Hammerhead Bridge right there, you might have to get 2 fights just before you're able to get back into mid, and we saw that happen time and time again for them right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and just to talk a little bit more about Destiny Bond. I know we've been talking about them a lot, but and not even just like the 1v1s, the 2v2s. I mean, we even saw the likes of Jared Zero. They're able to win 1v2s, 1v3s. I mean, every time it seemed like there was going to be a chance for Frostbite to get back in mid. Maybe the Destiny Bond was down 1-2 members. Someone on Destiny Bond made the play to make it equal numbers. Maybe they got a 2K or a 3K, and then suddenly it's like, well, you had this opportunity on Frostbite, but now there's two people trying to paint the zone, and one of them is probably an E-leader. You're not really going to be able to cap it faster than Destiny Bond's going to be able to jump back in.
Yeah, exactly. We saw, you know, you're not able to just clear them that quick because they're always able to come back in with either the Tetris with the quick respawn or just the fast paced gameplay coming out from a 4-shooter comp. So we saw all the members of Destiny Bond really just playing off of each other and playing smartly where, if there was only one or two left, they could kind of slow it down, but still keep up pressure to allow the rest of the team to jump back into favorable positions. And that's a really intricate game to play, and it requires a lot of skill, which Destiny Bond does have.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Frostbites, they still did show some very very promising things. I would not be surprised to see them make it all the way back to face Destiny Bond once again. But I believe we're more than likely going to be getting take a look at a new team here very soon, because that was Destiny Bond getting into winners finals. So they are going to be waiting for the other side of the bracket to see who they're going to face for the chance to get into grands. As this is this is a double elimination bracket. So every team has to lose twice before they are actually eliminated from the tournament itself. So keep an eye out. If you're a Frostbite fan, they can still make it back. We could see them make some necessary adjustments and hopefully get all the way back to get a nice rematch with Destiny Bond. All right. All right, everybody. You are watching Vortex Gallery 2023. This is the biggest community organized number of tournaments ever. We have tournaments. You're watching Splatoon 3 right now. I know that there's been tournaments for the likes of popular fighting games like Melty Blood, Guilty Gear, if you've heard of those games. Vortex Gallery, I believe this is the which year is this? We're watching 2023, but Vortex Gallery has been happening for a few years now, I believe. I've watched several of their events, and it's awesome to have Splatoon 3 actually become a part of the Vortex Gallery family, and hopefully it will remain a part of it, and we'll be able to host another event next year as well. And then we also have the Vortex Gallery official online store. You can go ahead and check it out at 956pro.com/shop. We have a number of really awesome community designed shirts, magnets, and the like. If you like any of the wonderful original designs that you see on screen, definitely make sure to go and check them out. Support Vortex Gallery so that they can keep doing these community driven events each year. And once again, that is at 956pro.com/shop.
Yep, and I'll definitely mention that we are this entire Splatoon 3 Vortex Gallery tournament is being sponsored by Matcherino. And if you want to support the pot in seconds, literal seconds, did it myself, type in Matcherino, !Matcherino into the chat right now. if you want to contribute. You could claim a code, adds 25 cents to the pot. You could fill out a survey, adds 30 cents to the pot, or you could download the Text Now app, which adds $3 to the pot. Quick and easy to do. You don't need to do it all. Pick and choose whatever you feel comfortable doing, but you can easily add some money to these teams here today. And like I said, I was able to contribute some money in literal seconds by filling out those surveys, claiming a code, and fill it out really quickly. So great for Matcherino to sponsor this one.
And last but not least, Slashback at the Guild House in San Jose, California, taking place from March 18th and 19th. It is a community-driven fighting game event featuring some popular games such as Guilty Gear Strive, Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2, Guilty Gear Plus R, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, DNF Duel, Melty Blood Type Lumina, Under Night Inbirth, Blaze Blue Central Fiction, and even Gundam EX versus Maxi Boost. I know that there's lots of people who will like that game, and I love to see that Gundam has been able to make its way to more events. So definitely be sure to register if you're in that area and like any of these games, or even also check it out when the event takes place. Be sure to tune in and support Slashback.
Yeah, and I would like to mention that someone generously donated $20 to the pot. So, this thing could add up pretty quickly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a great contribution coming in from Oh Knows. So we thank you very much for your direct contribution to this prize pool. And I mean, I'm sure everyone competing here today is definitely appreciative of that.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Thank you again, Oh Knows, for making that contribution to the pot. The players appreciate it. Everyone at Vortex Gallery appreciates it. As I said, this is community driven, so thank you very much. Without people like you, this probably would not be able to happen.
Yep.
Okay. And the next match we're going to be getting into is going to be Los Inklings versus Good Night. So we will be able to see if Los Inklings can, Frostbite versus Hook, Line, and Sinker. Los Inklings versus Good Night has already occurred. My apologies.
Yeah, I believe Good Night, dropped from the tournament, DQ'd, something along those lines. Maybe they never checked in. So Los Inklings is going to be moving on to the loser semifinals in the bottom part of the bracket. So we are going to be looking at Frostbite versus Hook, Line, and Sinker. And looking at this so far, Hook, Line, and Sinker was taken down 2-0 by Wipeout Punks, who are sitting in the winners finals at the moment. So, with Frostbite putting on a decent showing, in that last matchup against Destiny Bond, I think they're really close to, making their way up to a higher level of, competition. I think this is an important one for them to win and try and cement themselves here. And I don't see why Frostbite can't make a run and end up right back in the grand finals.
Yeah, I fully expect them to. They displayed some excellent play despite going down to Destiny 1. And if they take down Hook, Line, and Sinker here, they will be going up against Los Inklings again, and they already know what to expect coming out from that team. So I'm sure that they're very focused on first tackling Hook, Line, and Sinker so that they can get back to Los Inklings and potentially get to the losers finals and hopefully the grand finals once again. So let's see what they are able to pull out here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see what they're able to do in this one. And, these are going to be Hook, Line, and Sinker's a team that we haven't seen quite yet on stream. So interested to see what type of comps they bring. We're very familiar with what Frostbite likes to bring out at this point, as we've seen them 3 straight sets here. But, are they going to be keeping out that E-leader? Are they going to be... it seemed like the most change that they were going to be bringing map to map was maybe a Splash-O-Matic to a Stamper. And let's see. The Stamper worked out for them in round 1. They tried to mix it up into round 2 when they went up against Destiny Bond, but that's harder competition to definitely compare the weapon choice to. So I think just keep going with whatever you feel the most comfortable with at this time, and I think it'll work out for Frostbite.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see them go back to to using the Stamberg, as I mentioned before. Once they switched to the Splash, I really did not see the same level of coordination that was coming out between their Tetra player X-Ray and their Stamber player. So maybe that's just a weapon difference. Maybe when they switch off the Stamber, they have a different idea of how they should play the map, play the game. But I would really love to see them go back to that Stammer play and really have their dynamic duo, I guess, go wild. And it looks like we're going to be on Undertow, so this is going to be Undertow Spillway for the first map. Mm-hmm. And Frostbite, they are sticking with the Splash, so maybe they've decided that this is a better option, maybe for this map. And then on the side of Hook, Line, and Sinker, we see a Dynamo, the Dapple Dualies.
I don't think the Dapple Dualies knew the match started. It took a while to get out of spawn right there. But yeah, we see a very interesting comp coming out from them here. We've got the Dynamo Roller already stuck in their ink. They're going to get taken down right away. And it looks like Frostbite just took the fight right to them. And let's see if Hook, Line, and Sinker is going to be able to respond at all. Already getting pressured. They don't really have the greatest of weapons to, kind of get themselves back into this. The Dynamo not really known for retaking too much ground, better at holding it. Right now, the Dynamo is being pressured by 3 members on the side of Frostbite and gets taken down right here. So I'm thinking if Hook, Line, and Sinker isn't able to make something happen here quick, this might be a quick knockout, to be honest.
Yeah, and Hook, Line, and Sinker doesn't really have, all they really have is that tri-strike and an attempt to really force and take space back, and they're currently locked in right up in their spawn, and we can just see that the pressure from the Crab, the E-Leader, they're not able to drop down, especially when you have that Dynamo. The Dynamo also suffers from, once it's pushed out, it really can't get back out there into mid. And they're just gonna, they just keep taking them out one by one. Their Hook, Line, and Sinker is very staggered, but they keep trying to push out because they need to make a play, but it's not enough.
Yeah, what you saw there was just a strong mid-level team that's really hungry to take their game to the next level against a team, that's still trying to feel themselves out and figure out exactly, how to get a nice start here. You got to imagine Hook, Line, and Sinker is a much newer team than Frostbite, and these are the growing pains that come with, trying to find your place in a competitive community. So, tough one to take on the chin right there for Hook, Line, and Sinker, but, it can only make you stronger competing against a team like Frostbite that, I think has better individual skill and also, better team coordination as well. So I think at this point, just try and learn as much as you can from this one and see if you're able to come back with at least a better showing in this one. I think it's definitely possible for them.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious if they are going to, if Hook, Line, and Sinker is going to stick to that composition they were running. It is very interesting because that is the Dapple Dualies with the Dynamo. Those are 2 drastically different weapon styles, and they don't really they don't really support each other that well. When we compare it to the likes of what Frostbite's running, where you have the very strong midline of the double splash, and you have the Tetras who can really pressure and go in, and the E-Leaders all the way in the back and just free firing, because Hook, Line, and Sinker, they didn't have a way to get back there. Once they were locked out, they're very, very short range weapons. They didn't really have I suppose the Dynamo was intended to kind of be that backline presence, but it doesn't really do the same thing as the likes of an E-Leader or a Splatling, or even how Jared was playing a more backline approach to the Squeezer when he was playing with his triple splashes. So it'll be interesting to see if they decide to change anything up. I'm not going to imagine so. I feel like if they're running this comp, they are all very confident in the weapons they're playing. I assume that they're more than likely their main weapons, and they're probably picking this specifically because this is what they want to play. And that is definitely still what I would consider a sign of a very newer team. They don't want to switch to the splashes, the machines quite yet. They still want to have fun with what they know and what they enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it all comes down to comfort, and that's something definitely newer teams, elect to go for often as they try to, just find their identity, I would say, in a competitive space. And, you mentioned it, if it'd be interesting to see them switch off. And I think just Yeah, the range difference that we see from weapons that were on their team, like the Dapple Doolies and the Junior, the range difference isn't that much from a Splash-O-Matic, yeah. But when you take into account the special that is on the other side, the Crab Tank, you're just at a complete disadvantage range-wise when a lot of your special weapons can't really compete on that level. When, like you said, the longest really range or kind of special threat that they had was the Tri-Strike coming out from that 10 attack. So definitely there are issues comp-wise coming in from them, but it's what they feel comfortable with. Interested to see if they want to bring it into this next one. All of their members are ready. I didn't see how quickly they readied up, but
they readied up pretty quick.
So you gotta imagine that they're not really changing.
I don't
much
think
up.
they change. I think that they believe in what they're running. They're having a good time, and they're gonna run it back.
Yep, let's see right here. We're going to be going on to Splat Zone's Hagglefish. This is a fan favorite map right here.
Standard,
pretty standard. Yep. It's a pretty standard map for Splat Zones in particular. The zone in the middle has the 2 flank routes on both sides that you have to be careful with. And look at seems like Hook, Line, and Sinker hasn't really changed anything. But on the other side,
Frostbite has a Dynamo now. And the Spratling. That is very interesting.
Well, to be fair, I can see the Splatling on this map in general. It's got the Wave Breaker, which is always essential, and I think Hagglefish, able to control the tent areas for them and put up a lot of pressure from the middle of the map as well. So, I mean, the Splatling pick, I don't think is too out of the ordinary, but they are bringing in that Dynamo. Yeah. It's kind of just maybe mirroring the other team at this point. I don't know.
Looks like they're probably having a little bit of fun. They know that there's definitely a difference in team levels here. So, but they're still displaying that they know how to play these weapons. They know how to coordinate. Their Splatling was just tearing it up. Their Tetras are still tearing it up. Yeah, they're clearly having a good time.
Yep. Right now though, it does seem like Hook, Line, and Sinker kind of forced back into their base. Oh, the Reef Slider coming in, able to take down that 10 attack. Yeah, that got him from pretty far. I'm pretty surprised. I'm surprised when a Reef Slider kills in general, but also kill from that far. That's a pretty impressive feat right there. Dynamo able to get one taken down right there. Dynamo on the other side now elects to go up onto this tent area, maybe make something happen.
He's already out of aim. He's got to recharge aim.
Honestly, he should have just threw his special down to get his ink back. But not going to do that.
That is definitely a core problem of the Dynamo in this game. It's just a few flicks and then you got to recharge. That was a beautiful double coming out from the Splatling, and that double is going to seal up the game.
Yep. Once again, there was definitely I would say a team level difference between these two. Frostbite, like I mentioned, is probably a mid-level team, really hungry to take themselves to that next level. And Hook, Line, and Sinker still trying to figure out exactly, how far they want to take this competitive thing. I think anytime you're a newer team and you at least are willing to experiment with, weird comps and have some fun out there, I think that's a lot of promise for your team. Is everybody's on the same page at least in what they want. Everybody's comfortable allowing others to play the weapons that they're comfortable with, and I think that can still take them far, even if it is a weird weapon choice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, sometimes picking weird composition, weird setups is really what can push you forward in a tournament. It can really catch people off guard. I think back to very early Splatoon, the early Splatoon 3, when we were still kind of figuring things out. Everyone had an idea of what was good, but there was nothing really concrete. And in some of the Japanese events, we saw teams coming out with double Tetras as a manner of trying to deal with the constant machine spam that people were doing. And I mean, even as far back as I'm showing my age here, but back in Splatoon 1, people thought the Dynamo was useless, and then we see the likes of Dynamon coming out from Japan, and he showed everyone that this Dynamo weapon is good. It is good and it's viable, and you will respect him when he shows up in your game and he's using this weapon.
Yep. I also shout out to the streamer here, Manabe, playing the gacha right there, able to get some new table turf cards for their collection. Got the new Sheldon pack, Sheldon card right there, coming
especially
in
with
hot.
multiplayer table turf coming in the fresh season. We need
That's the real tournament
cards.
that we all want to see.
That is the real tournament. Everyone get your packs, guys. Build your decks. I know that there's definitely some people who have been waiting for this table turf update.
I'm not gonna lie.
I
don't know anything about table turf. I probably played it like 10 times, but I'm willing to learn and commentate some table turf matches.
Yeah, table turf is gonna be hype. You think you like the main game? You want to see triple splash, maybe some machine, some e-learning? No, I want to see some table turf. Let's see some table turf. That's where the real competition is gonna be at in the fresh season.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that with this newer thing, the table turf, maybe they'll add some type of spectator mode where people can watch others play. So, you know, we could get some good matches or tournaments going for that. But I mean, we could always go back to what we did for Splatoon 1 and watching individual streamers. It's just, you know, gonna be a little weird when your opponent could look at your entire hand, you know?
Yeah, that definitely would be weird. And it looks like we're going to be getting into the winners finals game, Destiny Bond versus Wipeout Punks. Both of these teams won their matches 2-0, so hopefully this will be a good one. We've already seen how strong Destiny Bond is, but we have not seen any games from Wipeout Punks. So I'm interested to see both what comp they're going to play and how they're going to play against the likes of Destiny Bond.
Yeah, right here on the side of Destiny, or on the side of Wipeout Punks, rather, like we mentioned, they won their first set 2-0 up against Hook, Line, and Sinker. So going into this next one, I want to see how they fare against, you know, some tougher competition. Obviously, the number 1 seed here in Destiny Bond, and on the side of Wipeout Punks, we've got Yovi, Captain Happy, Stan, and it seems like one player whose name I can't read.
Rin. Okay. Manabe for the quick translation. We appreciate
the quick translation. The quick translation. There. So, and we are getting confirmation from the chat that Hook, Line, and Sinker isn't a newer team. They've been around for a bit, but I think they're what we were trying to point out is they're still trying to break their way up onto a higher level of playing, and I think that's just going to take them a little bit more time, especially when you're playing comps that aren't traditional. I think it takes more time to really feel out your own identity.
Yeah, absolutely. Newer team was definitely not the perfect phrase we should have went with, but as Walkman said, definitely a team that's trying to have their breakout chance. But we are getting into this, okay? Wipeout Punks and Destiny Bond, and Destiny Bond is going to be playing that Tetra 52 comp, and on the side of Wipeout Punks, we see a 52 Stamper, 10 attack, and a Splash.
Yep, and we see all the members on the side of Wipeout Punks kind of group up on this right side, able to get a trade 1-for-1 right there. Yovi is going to have to back up on that 52 gal, getting pressured from mid. And while everybody on the side of Wipeout Punks was kind of focused on the players on the right that were on Destiny Bond, it seems like Bliss was just able to kind of take control of the entire zone and get into a position with his crab tank that really just put a lot of pressure on the enemy team and kind of, you know, caught them for surprise right there. A crab tank from their side coming in while they were all focused over on the other side. So things are looking really good for Destiny right now, as Bliss once again has a crab tank from the middle of the map. Just going to be able to zone them out here.
He's even pushing up onto the towards the enemy plat, and they're just smothering. They're just smothering Wipeout Punks right now. They are unable to get out. We do see 2 specials coming out, that whale and that crab tank, but it only affords them 1 kill, and it's on the Tetras, so you know that they're going to be right back. An excellent kill with the burst bombs coming out from Bliss. It's 2 down, still 2 down on the side of Wipeout, on the side of Destiny Bond, so they are going to be able to get that flip of the zone for Wipeout Punks. That is going to be a 71 penalty. Jared going down once again on those Tetras, and here comes the killer whale. It looks like they're on the side of Destiny Bomb. They do have a few people on the side of the tree. They're trying to deal with them. But while all that's happening, another crab's coming out from the side of Destiny Bond's plat, and they are able to flip the zone once again.
Yep, right now they do have some specials at the ready. It's going to be that Killer Whale 5.1 being popped right there to help Zero kind of move on forward, forces Yovi back right there, but is going to get taken down by Stan coming in with that Wiper. Stan able to pick up another one. It is going to be a 1v1 between Bliss and I believe that's Captain Happy in the zone right there with that Splash-O-Matic. Captain Happy turns around to try and get him. It was a good play coming out from him. I think just missed one shot and not able to get the full pick right there coming in for them now. It's going to be them having to make a play really quick once again. Yeah, the Tri-Strike comes in right there, but they've only got 5 ticks remaining. 2 members down. This isn't going to be enough right there, and Destiny Bond is going to be able to take game number 1 pretty handily, but Wipeout Punk showed some signs of life, able to get some clean retakes and put up decent holds. They have a chance going into this next one.
I agree. They definitely do have a chance. They showed that they do have an idea of how they want to play the game. They have what I would consider to be a fairly solid comp, assuming that they stick to it going into the next game. I would say that map can be a bit volatile. It is very hard once you have lost that first engagement and the enemy team has really gotten up onto your plat. It can be very hard to get back out there. And wow, it looks like they had their counter pick ready. It looks like it's going to be Brine Water. Yep, we're going into Brine Water. I wonder if there's going to be any change in composition.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier from our first set, Brine Water's kind of been that typical E-Leader map that people like to go to if you have one on their team. So I'm interested to see if they have a backline of that caliber that's kind of able to just, control, a lot of space for their team from their own side of the map. That's what the E-Leader is so strong on Brine Water. We also saw earlier a team elect to go with the Expulsor. I think that's another strong weapon pick on that map in particular, but maybe they went with this counter pick to try to maybe throw Destiny Bond for a loop with so many strong, aggressive, frontliners that don't have too much range. Maybe if we extend the map a little bit and we're able to bring out some range, maybe we can, kind of control the game and keep it at our own pace right here. Possibly the thinking going on with this counter pick. So want to see what exactly those on the side of Wipeout Punks are thinking here on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the first kind of chain of events that really set them back playing on Inkblot was the fact that Bliss really had all that free space to not only paint the zone, but get his crab up, while the likes of Wipeout Punks were focused on Jarrett, who was playing on in that enemy tree side. They were trying to get him out of there, but they just could not. There was a lot of bomb spam, and then the crab came in, and they were just all pressured all the way back onto their plat. So definitely want to see them syncing up specials going into this next game with their splash, maybe a counter crab. Captain Happy's going on to the E-Leader, and Wally is going on to the E-Leader. So we are going to have an E-Leader battle, scoped versus unscoped, however, and those are the only 2 changes coming out on both sides.
Yep, right now we already see Captain Happy looking to try to put some pressure up onto Wally, figure out where they're coming from. Now both E-Leaders kind of know where each other are at, but on the other side it is going to be a 1-for-1 trade between the Stamper and the 52 gal. And actually the E-Leader is going to get taken down, so I think Captain Happy was able to win that E-Leader battle, but gets taken down by Bliss shortly after. And everybody on the side of Destiny Bond is kind of moving up, or everybody on the side of Wipeout Punks rather, just kind of moving up and putting the pressure onto them right here. They're already pushed up all the way into their spawn here, and things aren't looking too good if you're a Wipeout Punks. Oh, yeah, as I say that, though, they got a Wipeout.
Yeah, as you say that, they do get a Wipeout, true to their name, the Wipeout Punks. And now let's see what kind of control they can get. They pop that crab in the middle of zone, the Stamper is pushing up, getting very aggressive, but here comes that kill. Oh, excellent kill onto Zero. All right, that's 2 down for Destiny Bond. The zip
pressure right here onto E-Leader.
Oh my gosh, wonderful flick to get that melee kill.
Excellent play coming in from that Zipcast. That's honestly textbook Zipcast. You can't ask for anything more than what that player did right there. As they were able to get 3 picks for their team before getting taken down right there. Gonna get taken down by Zero, who's got control of the right side of the map thanks to that splash wall. Is gonna get pressured by the E-Leader. but might be able to just inch their way forward. Gonna get taken down, though, by the Stamper right after. And things are kind of just going back and forth between these two teams right here. If the Stamper is able to get a pick, or maybe utilize his Zipcaster well once again, they should be able to get themselves back into this one. That's one pick getting taken down on Jared. Yeah, this Stamper player's definitely got the skill to hang with these top dogs right here. Zipcaster going to be going in right now, trying to get something going. But
trying to stay alive.
Yeah, to stay alive.
Respawns.
Yeah, just waiting for the respawns from their team. But actually, I think on the top, while they weren't being chased around, there was a member on the side of Destiny Bond who was waiting for those respawns to come in and was able to take advantage right there. We saw one of them get taken down pretty quickly. And if they're not able to do something quick here, Destiny Bond is going to be able to win this game here as they kind of just force the drop down. Going to have to paint the zone. Are able to stop.
They do get the flip. They do get the flip.
They do get the flip right here to keep this game alive right now. They do have time to work with. They need to build up their specials and make another play for themselves. One gets taken down right there. This Jared gonna get taken down, but Wally able to respond right back, taking down Stan, who's kind of been the thorn in their side thus far with that Stamper.
They keep having these constant one-for-one trains. They are gonna pop a crab, but it's not able to get anything done. As Jared just zips, slip and slides around it, and yep, they are going to be once again pressured for time, but they do get 3. The jumps are coming back into mid. The sword's going to work. Excellent, he gets a double. Okay, they're able to get control of the zone once again. Now let's see if they can push up. There's 2 down on the side of Destiny Pond once again. Stan is going to it. He really knows how to play this Stamper. This is excellent Stamper play coming out from him.
Yep, right now Jared is going to drop down towards the zone. I believe they were spotted out by some players on the side of Wipeout Punks right there. But it seems like Jared's still alive. We've got the Crab Tank on the side of Wipeout Punks coming in, and that's 2 down now. So they were able to deal with Jared on the flank, able to deal with Zero from the front, and that is going to be full control coming in from them once again right here. It is going to be this Flash-O-Matic player kind of pressured right here, kind of forced into a bad position. Oh, if they were just going to throw a burst one right there, able to take him out, but they're going to be forcing the jump out right here as this is a decent hold coming in from Destiny Bond. They already have the timer ticked down to 22 on the penalty timer, so they can pick up some points rather quickly. They need to make a strong push, wipe out Punks if they want to stay in this one.
Yeah, and they are working their way out. That was 2 down.
They don't have enough time.
Yep. There were 2 down on Destiny Bond, but as you said, just not enough time. They couldn't get out there to really neutralize the zone.
Yeah,
that was a very well played map coming out from both sides. I know that it did go the ways of Destiny Bond, but Stan on that Stamper.
Stan
he had multiple doubles and triples with the zip.
Even in the loss, Stan got to be the MVP of that game right there. Putting on an absolute show for everyone and keeping his team in it for sure. A couple plays going into that one where, they needed a double to get themselves back in it. Stan was able to find it. They needed a triple to get a nice strong hold. Stan was able to find it. So great plays coming in from them on that Stamper. And I think that just shows how strong of a weapon, that can be in the right hands. And Stan's definitely shown that he's a capable, swordsman right there, able to put on a lot of work for their team. But you also, I know Wipeout Punks lost the game. That was a strong showing from them. They went toe-to-toe right there with Destiny Bond. Yeah, one team fight win where they were in control of the zone right there, they would have won the game.
They had their penalty completely wiped away. They were just literally one, maybe 2 kills away, and they definitely could have flipped that game on its head.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That just goes to show more of how strong Destiny Bond is, keeping that cool head, knowing exactly what they need to do to get back in, not getting too flustered, staggering themselves running in. They still kept that coordination with the specials, and it allowed them to get the zone back in their favor, and also, once again, get a solid hold into the enemy spawn. Yeah.
So good showing for them. I think even in that loss, they gotta be feeling confident that they can go toe-to-toe with this team, if they're able to play at their very best here. So as we move on to this next one, I don't want them to change too much up, go with the same type of plan, and if we're just able to, get one more team fight in their favor, they should be able to pull this one out. So very excited to see this next one. But if you're Destiny Bond, you kind of scraped through right there with a pretty, clutch victory, if you want to say. But it was with the skin of their teeth. So they need to stay, composed here and show exactly why they are the number 1 seed and why they have this 2-0 lead going into this next map, which is going to be Splat Zones on Hagglefish right here. And yep, once again, no real changes coming out from them, except actually no Crab Tank on their side, I believe. It is going to be
on a Hydra.
Wally on the Hydra on the other side. We've got the double 52 on one side. We've got the machine coming out and the 52 on the other. So there's actually no Crab Tank in this game right here.
That is not something I thought I would be saying tonight. No Crab Tank in the game. And immediately, Destiny, they get Wipeout Punks are going to get wiped out. And Destiny Bond are put there all the way up onto the spawn, all the way up into the spawn immediately.
Yep, Jared now just going to paint up this left side as much as possible, give himself an escape route if needed, and put some pressure up onto the E-Leader, not able to throw up too many shots before getting taken down by them right there. That's going to be Stan getting taken down by, I believe that's one of the 52 gals behind them that they need to be aware of. It is going to be taken down by Bliss, and Jared is also going to get the jump in, so once again, they're wiped out. And yep. I think this could be the game really quickly. You're going to keep up the pressure right here.
1 or 2 more fights, and they don't really have amazing specials for getting back in. So this is going to be very difficult for them, especially if they keep chain dying. They're not even having the opportunity to get specials. You can see an excellent shot coming out from the captain, and he's trying to get out there, but only 5 seconds left, and they haven't even dealt with this Hydra.
They have no... Wait, how did this... Who neutralize the zone? There's nobody there.
Wait.
Maybe it might have been, I don't know, did Stan use like a zip caster to get back there or something? I'm not sure.
Maybe. That's the only thing I could have thought of. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of, that Stan zip casted all the way over to get the neutralize the zone, and he just didn't have enough to cap it. But yeah, that's going to be a very difficult loss to take. But I mean, that is Hagglefish. Coming out with that double 52, we haven't really seen that since the likes of the early Splatoon 3 meta, before a lot more Splash and Machine was starting to get played, but it is still very powerful. Dealing with that double wall can be quite hard. Not to mention the double whale. They're constantly going to be putting pressure on that E-Leader and forcing them to move, forcing Captain Happy to move. So that is an excellent play coming out from Destiny Bond, and that's why they're able to take the win.
Yeah, Destiny Bond says no more messing around. Gave them too much signs of life in that last game and really put the pressure on them right there in that one. So great showing from them to, win that 3-0 pretty handily right there at the end. Able to show a pretty wide variety in their team comps. I know you mentioned the 52 gal could be really strong,